Hi all, how you doing? Hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. I'm certainly doing great. My team, City, have won against Arsenal. It was an entertaining match, a tough match. I thought both teams played well, but I think City did edge it, and I think they deserved the positive win. So I have a look at the player ratings. Man City player ratings. Donnarumma 5.5. It says here, perhaps the best shot stopper of his generation. He definitely saved some shots later on in the game, but obviously there's a glaring error after Cherky opened the scoring within a minute or something like that. It was 1-1, and basically nobody could believe it. I mean, in a quality match like a top of the table clash, what you don't really want to see is errors. You want to see good goals. You want to see good performances. You don't want to see a complete balls up like that, really. Um, so I feel a little bit sorry for Donnarumma because he's a great goalkeeper, and I'm really pleased that we've got him. Clearly, he's not as good as Trafford with his feet. Um, But Donnarumma's won stuff with PSG. Trafford hasn't really won anything. Trafford's like a junior in comparison, although Donnarumma isn't that old. I think he's only about 25, 26 or something like that. Not quite sure how old he is actually, but I always thought he was much older than what he was when we signed him. But he's not particularly old himself, Donnarumma. Um, but as a goalkeeper, you're under pressure when you play. Um, for someone like City, someone especially like Pep. He likes he wants the goalkeepers to play out from the back. And so he did mess up. Okay. He's slow, he's slower getting to the ball, and he let Havertz in um, with the goal. But he did start the attack for the second goal and basically the eventual winner in the game. So 5.5, maybe I'd say a little bit harsh in some respects because he's just one silly mistake. Is that one silly mistake really, worth a point, knocking a point off? We've all done daft things. So I don't know. I think maybe it's a bit harsh, that score. Nunes, quiet day down the right wing for Man City in general, but same can be said for Arsenal's entire left flank. Yeah, left flank. Wasn't much, was there, coming down it? So probably true. Nunes is a funny player. When he first started, I think he was trying too hard. He made quite a few errors. I think this is the thing when you come to City, you make you can potentially make a few big errors, a few big blunders. I can't remember that one game where he was like coming back and then he sort of gave away a penalty, a silly penalty. I can't remember which game it was, but yeah. But he's definitely improved his game, Nunes. Kusanov, okay, again, like I said about Nunes, when he first came to the club, the game against Chelsea, he had a few blunders, the back pass header and stuff like that. And we all thought, who the hell is this guy? He's not very good here, but he's a worldie in my book. He's so aggressive in his headers and getting to the ball, and he's so quick and he's still young. Obviously, he's got a lot of years in him compared to our other fullbacks who basically can't get into the squad now, really, because of Kusanov and obviously Mark Gahey. Um, so both of these, Mark Gahey and Kusanov, absolutely tremendous central pairing for years to come for City. And I think most City fans will look at these two now and think, wow, these are going to be here for the next sort of 5 years for sure. Unless they get a bad injury or something like that, um, then other players who we thought are going to be here for years, they're not going to get back into the squad. And it won't surprise me if some other players will start looking for new clubs or something like that. But so these two are young. Um, Actually, I don't know exactly how old Gahey is. How old is he? Should we look him up? Mark Gahey age. I'm pretty sure Kusanov's youngish. Uh, June 220. So he's 26 about. Okay, so Mark Gahey, yeah, he passed the ball around the back, pretty solid. And again, you know, basically neither of them really conceded anything at the back. Our only goal was basically from a goalkeeping error. Nico O'Reilly, again, an incredible performance. He's got to be one of the players, if not the player of the year. Um, so- I mean, sometimes I think, he should like let go of it he's in midfield. He should let go of it, release it a bit earlier. I know old Liverpool sort of style management would be looking at him and saying he's holding onto the ball way too much, needs to release it and pass it quicker. So maybe there is a bit of that, I think. But he's unbelievable. The when he was on the left hand side today in the fullback position, um, he somehow got out of a you know he somehow got it out from the side against two Arsenal players. No idea how and carried on with a kind of an attack. That was just incredible play from Nico, and then the crowd started chanting his name and stuff afterwards. Rodri, I think he got an injury later on, didn't he? Didn't he come off? I think he got like a little bit of a groin strain maybe or something like that. I could be wrong. Actually, I just remember now, Nico O'Reilly in the last game. Against Chelsea. I think he got a bit of an injury, but so I completely forgot about that. And I was thinking Nico Riley might be out for about 5 weeks, but I think that's the benefit of being young. You can get over injuries very quick. So maybe he had a little bit of a strain, and so he managed to come through that and play in this massive game today and absolutely had a stormer. Rodri, pretty solid still. Again, I thought he's just a comfortable game. He didn't really do anything great. Okay, he just solid, really. That's all I can really say about him. Bernardo Silva is unbelievable. To give him 7 out of 10 is just ridiculous. He's got to be one of the players of the match for City, other than Nico O'Reilly. I thought Nico and Bernardo Silva were extremely good today. So Bernardo, there was like a header later on against Gyökeres. Um, he won a header, and also he won against Havertz. There's a one-on-one battle where it looked like for 1 second we were short at the back, and Bernardo was keeping pace with Havertz, and then made a great clearance. That was just incredible. And all his teammates were just coming up to him, patting him on the back. And he was obviously our captain today, and it meant a lot. Also, it's his final year at City. He's already announced sort of his retirement from City. I'm not exactly sure where he's going or anything, but that's no secret that he's going at the end of the year, and hopefully we can kick on and win the Premier League for him. If we can get the FA Cup again, we can be on a treble. I mean, how many City fans thought we'd get a treble this year? I mean, we haven't done that, okay, but we're in a great position. We've got to be like almost favourites now to get a treble. I'm sure we'll be favourites to win the league and favourites to win the FA Cup. In fact, let's go check that out. FA Cup favourites. Let's see what odds. Um, FA Cup betting odds, Paddy Power. Um, so clearly home 1 to 6. So clear favourites. Oh, so outrights 4 to 9. Okay, so basically You put on £9 and you get £4 back. So we're clear favourites to win the FA Cup. Um, League odds, Premier League. So yesterday when I was looking at I think it was like 7-4. City was 7-4 to win. What's going on here? Confirm I'm not a robot. I am not a robot. Why it's suddenly looking for that? I don't know. Odds checker. Okay, so let's have a look. What's going on here? Go away. Just outrights. So there we go. Man City now 8-11. So Man City are now clear favourites to win the league. So yesterday we were something like 7-4. Um, and now we're 8-11 to win the league. We're now favourites to win both. So we're probably sort of even, maybe less than even to win the treble, I guess. So that means to win both competitions. So yeah, City are in a hell of a place at the moment, a great place. Turkey, 8.5, silkiest skills, most skillful football in the world right now. Not sure about that, but he scored another great goal today, obviously. I was pumping, I was out of my seat pumping kind of thing. Ronaldo's favourite player, probably having a kickabout on the playground, except his playground is the biggest game, the best league in the world. 8.5. So what else did he do? I don't think he did much else, if, in fairness, but you don't have to do much else. If you score a goal like that, you don't have to do anything for the rest of the game in reality. But I don't think he was a man of match. Like I said before, I think Bernardo Silva and Nico Riley were both. I don't understand this seven at all for Bernardo. It was ridiculous. Um, he was all over the pitch again, every blade of grass. So I'd give it 8.5 for Nico and Bernardo Silva. I'd give Cherky an 8. Semenyo, I was asking for him to be pulled. He was not having a good game at all. He had a through ball where he totally miscontrolled it. For me, that's kind of unforgivable when you got a through ball like that. It's like he panicked, and then the ball just sort of drifted straight into Raya's hands, and Raya actually stumbled. He was like, breathing a sigh of relief basically after that one. Semenyo, he didn't go past his player very much. Um, I just think of the early days when we signed Semenyo, he was scoring a lot of goals. He was going past players like as if they weren't there. Today, he just didn't do any of that to me, and he was kicking the ball too far, and he was going out of play. Nothing really happened at all for him. But so I mean, maybe it says here that he did defensively well. I don't know. So for me, he was one of the worst players on the pitch. Doku did really well. He's got this ability where he can just go past a player from a standing start. Basically from a standing start he can just go past anybody. But he slightly frustrates me because like once he's gone past them, once you've beaten your man, just carry on going. Okay, just carry on going and cross the ball. But clearly he's not fast enough, maybe. Um, so he frustrated me in those terms. And later on, he got really tired. I think Pep should have pulled him um, with about 70 minutes gone. I definitely think Doku should have been pulled off off the field. He seemed to be tired. He was doing sort of funny tricks sometimes, and he was just losing the ball. I think when you're tired and you're trying to do tricks, they don't often come off sometimes. Okay, because you've got tired legs, tired feet. Your muscles aren't doing what your brain is basically telling you. I should know when I'm in my 50s that this definitely applies. Okay. But obviously, when you're a professional player, when you get up to sort of 70 minutes, that's when it sort of really kicks in for these pros potentially. Okay, Premier League, they're supposed to go a little bit more, obviously, but as a winger, you're going to tire more. Pep quite often will pull the wingers off at a certain amount of time in the match. But I think he should have pulled Doku a lot earlier. He looked a lot tired. Um, Haaland, he was just having a fight all day long with Gabriel. Okay, I think it was Gabriel, wasn't it? So he was basically having a fight the whole match with Gabriel. Haaland to me needs to learn how to win headers at the halfway line when the ball is getting kicked out. He's not the greatest hold-up player. He's still young, obviously, Haaland. He can, but I would love to see an old sort of old school player from, say, Wimbledon type player. One of those like I don't know, someone like John Fashanu type or someone like that. Show him how to do that long ball stuff and hold it up because I don't think he's very good at getting to the ball before the defender a lot of the time. I mean, today in the box he did, but today when he scored his goal, obviously we managed to win that battle, and obviously that's the most crucial one. But I think he could be a lot better player um, in terms of his hold up play. To me, he seems to give up a bit, and this guy's like a bloody Viking warrior. So I don't understand that. He goes down a little bit too easily sometimes, or he falls off his feet, and I don't know. He could be better in that department, and that's basically what I'm getting at. Um, so yeah, he was in a fight all day basically with Saliba, I think it was, or Gabriel. I can't remember now who was playing against him. So 7.5. Yeah, I think that's fair rating because he did pretty well. And he did a lot of, again, Haaland does quite a bit in defence. He's getting a lot of headers out from corners and stuff like that. And we were under pressure from Arsenal's corners, and we never looked like, actually, maybe one occasion where we might have conceded from a corner. But obviously, Arsenal's corners are really dangerous. I mean, they've basically been called the corner team all year. Okay, the set piece team. So, yeah. Okay, so Arsenal ratings, do we care about them? Let's have a quick go. David Raya, 55.5, 5.5. I don't think he did a lot wrong, really, so I'm not quite sure why he's only got 5.5. Um, he was one very early miscontrol where Haaland nearly scored. So, you could argue that Raya got away with it and um, Donnarumma didn't, basically. Uh, Mosquera, yeah. So not brilliant. Obviously, against Doku, it's very difficult. Saliba played a key role in beating City's press and getting the ball past the first line defense, but uh, did it leave Gabriel a little too exposed on his own? Yeah. Actually, I'm not going to go through the Arsenal players. You can see here from this that they're lower than City's, so I think my overall perception that City were the better team is kind of coming across. I think these are reasonable figures. I think Arsenal, in fairness, I think Arsenal played better than these figures suggest. But I mean, it's unfortunate for someone like Martin Odegaard, who I really rate. He's only just sort of come back from injury, and he's not right up to speed. And I think he's a top player. Okay. Um, Eze hasn't really pulled up trees as much as he should have done. He nearly scored a great goal. He's very unlucky with hitting the post. Um, but someone like Kai Havertz should have been going through on goal, and but Silva basically, outfought him. A guy who's like a foot smaller than him, basically was outmuscled by Silva. So he should do a lot better, Kai Havertz. Um, So that's kind of where I think about the match today. So City won the game 2-1, and they deserve to win it. Um, so if we have a look at the Premier League title at the moment, City have got a game in hand. We are 3 points behind. Um, so if we win that game, we'll go ahead. If we win it 1-0, I think we go ahead because we scored more goals. Fortunately, this does not show the goals scored and stuff, I don't think. So we're playing against Burnley. We should beat them, but who knows? You know what football is. The games you expect to win, sometimes you lose. I mean, Arsenal were expected to beat Bournemouth, um, and that didn't happen, and we are where we are. Yeah, don't really want to talk about that. So, yeah, here we go. Goals for. So clearly, goals for. City are two more than Arsenal. You know what? I'd say this year has been a lower quality league. Um, what's the thing? We've got five. Arsenal have got 5 games to go, so we can. The top score in points is 85. I mean, can remember going back when we had the Man City versus sort of Liverpool running, where they both kind of won every single game for like 18 games in a row, or whatever the hell it was. I can't remember. And they both finished with like sort of 97 and 98 points. Well, just the Premier League is just like, in a way, you could argue the quality at the top isn't as high this year. I mean, I don't think Pep thought he would be in a position where City could win the league this year because he thought that Arsenal were basically clear. So Arsenal basically done another bottle job. Arsenal fans, let me know what you think. Do you think that? So let's have a look at the running basically. So this is Arsenal's running. Next match, Arsenal versus Newcastle. Newcastle, they're not doing great. They've just been beaten again by Bournemouth, but in fairness, Bournemouth are having a great run. When I watched that game, Newcastle just didn't look up for it. I'm wondering if they'll get a real. Maybe there'll be less pressure on Newcastle in the next match. Also, they're getting the captain back, the Brazilian captain. Forget his name, but you know which one I mean. I think he came on against Bournemouth for 20 minutes or something. So maybe they'll get him back for the full match, and maybe that can ignite their passion and ignite the rest of the season because they're in a terrible form at the moment. Actually, if I just go to wow, they're in 14th position. Terrible. 3 losses in a row. I mean, 42 points. West Ham went down with 42 points sort of 20 years ago or whenever it was. I can't remember when it was, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I mean, yeah, it's unlikely to happen. But if suddenly Tottenham and West Ham get playing and Newcastle lose every single game, you could argue they'd be under some kind of pressure. But I don't think that's going to happen. No. Um, so let's have a look at the fixtures. And obviously, Arsenal are in the Champions League. They've got to play against Atletico Madrid. That's going to be a tough game, um, clearly. And the other thing about Arsenal's fixture list is they've got a lot of London games. So for all of these London teams will want to stop Arsenal winning. They won't want another London team winning kind of thing. So Fulham will want to go to Arsenal and upset the party. Again, Atletico Madrid. Um, Again, West Ham versus Arsenal. That's going to be West Ham just going to want to spoil the party. This is probably, Arsenal's sort of only game, which is going to be, you'd think might be easy. Okay. Arsenal versus Burnley. But again, last game of the season, they've got to go to Palace and win there. Another London team. I don't think anyone's spoken about the London teams that Arsenal have got to visit in the final few games of the season. That's all going to be tricky. I mean, that's one of the reasons why London teams potentially find it difficult to win the league or haven't won it maybe as much as they should have done, is because they're playing against a lot of other London teams. So a lot of derbies, which make you tend to end up drawing a lot of derbies more than winning them, let's say. So let's say Arsenal, Chelsea, Brentford, that's three. Um, Fulham four, Palace five, West Ham six, Tottenham seven. You've got seven kind of London teams. That's a lot of derbies, isn't it? It's tough. Okay. So where are we at now? So Manchester fixtures, we got Burnley away. It'd be interesting to see if they play Trafford in goal. I don't think he will. Okay, I think he'll put Donnarumma back in, but obviously Trafford came from Burnley, was signed from Burnley, so it might be a good reason. A lot of people have been calling for Trafford to play, and some of his games have been exceptional. That triple save in the final against, I think it was against Arsenal, wasn't it? Yeah, of course it was. The triple save, that was unbelievable keeping. I wouldn't say unbelievable. It's what he's doing. He's doing a job that he should do. But again, a lot of people really rate Trafford, and obviously Trafford was signed before Donnarumma. Trafford must have been thinking, "Great, I'm going to be playing for Man City now in the first place," and then Donnarumma gets signed, and he's kind of sitting on the sidelines, and it's a little bit unfair. But this is Man City, okay? Man City have got two players for every sort of position, and everyone can play. Um, Obviously, Man City, Southampton semi-final of the FA Cup. Man City versus Crystal Palace. So interesting. Palace have got us to play Man City and Arsenal. We've had trouble against Palace before in the past. They've come up with some unbelievable. So especially at our place as well. Crystal Palace have done extremely well against us. Everton are a team again. I don't like playing. We've done okay against them recently, but going back a few years, sometimes we've had to struggle against Everton. And again, another team, Brentford, who um, I think Brentford did the double over us one year, didn't they? So Brentford are another team, and yeah, they've got a manager who most people thought Brentford they're going to be struggling, they're going to get relegated, but Brentford have been doing amazingly, and they've been playing some great stuff. They're in seventh position. I mean, they're on the same points as Chelsea. That is unbelievable. Okay. But everyone would expect City to beat Brentford, but again, could be a tough one. Bournemouth again. Bournemouth are playing extremely well. I've been looking at a recent interview by one of the players. He was basically saying they want to send Ariola out on a. Obviously, the manager is leaving. The manager's announced it, and that can go both ways. They could want to put them out on a good sort of ending as a sort of say a thank you to the manager, saying you've been a great manager. We want to sort of play for you to the end of the season, and this is like a sort of a great sending off to you. So Bournemouth could be an extremely tricky proposition. Aston Villa, I expect us to beat them, but we had obviously a couple of seasons ago where we had to win the league. We 2-0 down and we managed to score sort of three goals in the last kind of 20 minutes to win the title. So again, Aston Villa could be one of those teams who could turn up and make it difficult for us. And anything could happen on the last day of the season. We could get nervous about it. Remember this year, we've got a lot of players who haven't won the Premier League. You know, people like Ryan Cherky, um, Semenyo. Okay, so let's have a look. Donnarumma hasn't won the Premier League with us. Nunes. Yeah, I don't think I can't remember when we signed him now. I don't think so. Kusanov, no. Gahey, no. Nico Riley, no. Rodri, obviously, yes. Silva, yes. Cherky, no. Semenyo, no. Doku, when did we sign him? Haaland, yes. Uh, so we've got quite a lot of players who haven't actually won the Premier League. So they could blow it, all right. But then again, you look at Arsenal, and none of those players have won the Premier League, I think. So they haven't won. When was the last time they won the Premier League? Okay, when did Arsenal last win league? 2007 or something like that? 2003. So last won the Premier League title in 2003, 2000. Crikey. I mean, that's over 20 years ago. Wow, amazing that they haven't won the league for 20 years. So that is quite incredible, isn't it? So yeah, that's my sort of review of Man City versus Arsenal and where we're at. Um, I think City could well and do could easily, I say easily, easily win the treble again, and that would be an incredible finish. Okay, compared to where we were sort of 4 months ago, um, to win the treble would be an absolutely outstanding achievement by the team. Okay, so thanks for listening to me ramble on. Don't forget to like and subscribe.